I'm Ed Thorell from Firearms Education and Training. Thanks again for joining us on Shooter the Series. We're back for episode number 3 of how to get a concealed weapons permit in the City of Murrieta, California. So we're going to rejoin the conversation with Lieutenant Ron Driscoll, and we'll be back in a little bit.
In this city, the chief is the only one that can make the final decision to issue a CCW license. He can also impose restrictions, and these are all real common sense. Consuming any alcoholic beverages while armed, we tell our officers that. All our officers can carry 24/7, conceal, we all know that, right? But if you're going to go out drinking, don't carry a gun with you. I've been doing this 28 years. I've told my guys over and over again, stupid things happen when you drink and you bring a gun with you. So we tell our officers that. We can certainly tell people that we give a CCW license to, you can take the, we're not going to pat you down when you leave your house, but we're going to, we're going to hope that you're going to make the right choice. If you get stopped falsely representing yourself as a police officer, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Unjustified or unreasonable display of a firearm. You should never pull out a gun unless you're going to shoot somebody with it. Obviously, commit any crime. Being under the influence of any medication or drug while armed, that goes right back up to this as well. Interfering with a law enforcement officer's duties. Refusing to display his or her license or firearm for inspection upon demand to any police officer. So if you get stopped and you have a gun on you, and the very first thing you need to tell the officer, excuse me, officer, I'm just letting you know, I have a firearm on me, I have a CCW permit in my wallet, I'm keeping my hands right where you can see. Yep. And loading the permitted firearm with illegal ammunition. So we don't allow you to carry, hot loads and different other stuff. We can revoke a license, obviously. If any of those last concerns occur, then we can revoke the license. If at some point you become psychologically unsuitable, if you commit a crime and now you're within that class, now you're a convicted felon or something, obviously we're going to take your CCW license away. And then if you do something that, if you engage in conduct which involves a lack of good moral character, so there can be example after example of that. The bottom line is if a police officer stops you and you're doing something that may not be illegal, but it's, for lack of better words, maybe a little scandalous, then we can take that license from you. It is a privilege, not a right. This question comes up quite a bit, and it's with the business owners. We have a lot of business owners in our city, a lot of good people that would totally qualify to get a CCW license, but if they're not a resident, we can't issue it to them. They can, though, go to the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff has exclusive rights to issue a limited CCW business license that pertain only to really the person working for the business, whether it's carrying large sums of money, that type of thing. Now, you can have a resident that'll have that same reason, and we'll issue for that. That's a good cause reason. But if it's just a business owner, we can't issue that license. And then this is where we're at. So in May of this year, we kicked this program off. I would say within the first week, I think, we had 20 or so applications. Which was pretty, just so you know, before when we contacted the Sheriff's Department, we averaged about 10 a month is what our average was. So our first week we got about 20. So we received 94 applications since the program began. 39 of those applications were processed. 33 were approvals and 6 were denials. It's 85% approval of our applicants. So not too bad, actually. Pretty respectable. And it's also, I think I mentioned this too, that the ones that, and a majority of these, actually I have a few more on my desk right now, so, but a majority of these were failing the site. And when we get the psych report back, it's pretty descriptive of what some of the concerns are. And I like that because, it's not like it's a deny. No, it talks about some of the concerns and impulse control issues, that type of thing. So, but many of these we would have passed if we did do a psych. And that's even more alarming. The quickest turnaround for a background was 18 days. Think about that a little bit. 18 days. You won't even get an appointment with the county for 18 months at least.
Yeah.
18 days from the time they went online and applied to the time that folder hit my desk. It was incredible. The average is about 2 to 3 months. And a lot of it, quite frankly, is believe it or not, getting people to go get your psych done, go get your range done. It's sort of the reverse problem. Now we got to sort of prompt people to get done with it. So, some of the things that we're going to be changing is it does take up a good part of our time on the PD side of it. It takes me about a good half hour to review a folder, go through every piece of it and make sure it's good to go. And then when I start typing letters, and I actually have another process for that to make it more efficient, but it still takes about an hour worth of staff time when you include our technician, when you include my time. We do have a fee schedule already of $100, so we're probably going to add that to the cost of getting the CCW license. So know this. You can always apply for the Sheriff's Department. You're a Murrieta resident, you have your choices. You have our city, you can apply for the county. That might be a deal breaker for some people, but $100 might be well worth it if you don't have to wait for 2 years. And then the other thing we're going to add, and it goes right back to my point, is that if you're having a hard time getting people to get the process completed, we maintain contact with them, but if after 60 days, there's no movement, they're not returning our calls, we'll cancel their application, because we got to focus on the people that want to get their license. What's fair is fair. If you want it, that's fine. We'll work with you. We'll move forward with it. But if you're not getting the stuff done, then we're going to cancel the application. So we're going to be implement that change here in the near future. And this, by the way, we're going to give in 90 days, we're going to start charging this. So we're going to give people, so if you're on the fence of whether or not you want to apply to get a CCW permit. So if you want to save $100, this is a coupon. This is your coupon. Apply now. Let's save $100.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. We're back. We wanted to give you a wrap-up for episode number 3 and the important points that you want to try to take away from this. Very important is that when you are carrying a weapon, no alcohol is allowed. It's also important to understand that there will be no display or brandishing of a pistol. Your pistol has to be concealed at all times. Nobody can know that you're carrying. Also, if you are involved in a traffic stop or any type of contact with the police department, whether Murrieta or someone else, you basically have to let them know by state law that you are a CCW carrier and that you are carrying a pistol with you. For people that do not live in the city of Murrieta but work here or have business here, you can get a limited CCW so that business owners can protect themselves while they're in the city. We also found out there's an additional $100 administrative fee for processing on top of the $761. Because people that live in the city of Murrieta also live within the larger county of Riverside, you have a choice. You could also go and apply through the county of Riverside. However, the process is going to take longer. One of the things we also discovered was that there's a 60-day cancellation for inactivity. If for any reason you aren't processing your paperwork, if things are not getting done, they can cancel your application and you will have to start over. So it's very important that once you get this done, you do everything in a timely manner so that you don't let things lapse. Once again, we'd like to thank you for joining us on Shooter the Series. This is going to wrap up our 3rd episode, but we look forward to doing the 4th episode. My name is Thorell from Firearms Education and Training. We appreciate you joining us. Y'all take care.